A harsh click penetrated the silence of the room. The metallic double click of a handgun was a familiar sound to Esther. The quieter first snap as the slide drew back, and the second louder crack as it popped back into place. It told Esther two things about her intruder. First, the owner of the gun would not kill her straight away, otherwise the gun would have already been cocked, and she would already be dead. He, or she, wanted her to know who he was, and it gave Esther negotiation time. The second thing it told her was he was a professional. She knew every creak of the house. She knew where to walk to avoid detection. The intruder must have mapped out the groaning floorboards when she had been out. He wanted to surprise her. He wanted to scare her. Now in her 60s, with silver-streaked hair, Esther used ageism to her advantage, lulling those who didn't know her with a calm, grandmotherly aura. Those who did know her, including her family, called her the polar bear. She appeared soft and cuddly, but possessed the cold viciousness of a merciless predator. Esther put down her pencil and inched her hands above her head. "Please," she said, gulping deliberately, "don't hurt me." "I know who you are, Miss Jones. You can stop the fragile old lady act." Esther lowered her hands and straightened her body. Calmly, she swiveled around in her chair to face the gunman. On her sofa lounged a man dressed in black. Black shoes, trousers, shirt, and cap were all designed to blend into the background. He rested a Ruger 22 on his thigh, but Esther noted his finger on the trigger and the barrel pointing in her direction. Dark eyes stared at her from an unfamiliar face. He was neither ugly nor handsome, but possessed a face that would not stand out in a crowd, not to the average person, anyway. But Esther had not spent her life around average people. She had grown up around characters that made their own laws and followed paths far from normal life. In her world, violence and death could be ordered as easily as a takeaway. Murderers, psychopaths, and madmen were her companions. She saw the icy sharpness in his eyes. She saw the harsh lines creeping from the corners of his piercing eyes and thin lips. She saw ruthlessness slithering from him as easily as a hawk spots a snake in the undergrowth. "And what should I call you?" she asked, matching his icy stare. "Or are you going to say something predictable like, 'Your name is not important,' or 'I don't need to know'?" He responded with a slight smile. "It doesn't matter who I am." Esther would have laughed at his obvious reply, but something about his smile made her guts twist with an icy ripple, and all humor fled the room. "Why not?" "Because I'm here in a purely professional capacity." Despite the frequent threats against her and a couple of clumsy attempts to kill her, an unexpected chill prickled her neck. Regretting sending everyone away for the evening, she did a roll call of the weapons in her house. Esther's reputation and the company she kept meant that weapons were not an absolute necessity for her. However, she realized the world contained plenty of crazies out there who were oblivious to common sense and sought revenge or glory, so she kept a knife in a hidden pocket in her handbag, and a tiny razor blade was discreetly incorporated into the pendant she usually wore. The bag sat on the kitchen table, and, after the bath she had taken an hour earlier, the necklace hung uselessly on the handle of the bathroom cabinet. "And what profession is that? Carpet salesman? Estate agent?" She flashed her eyes at him and added, "Assassin?" "You are a perceptive woman, Miss Jones,"